Now, this next brother coming up here, I won't even look at this paper. I know his brother. Yeah, for years. We used to be in a poetry group together. Well, David, I don't know. That's how his mind works. I said, I don't know. But, one thing I do have to look at. Okay, he's the director of a high-risk HIV program that provides counseling and testing, and he's been doing that for a number of years, working in the community. On the poetry and performance side, he doesn't have a book, he has a library. He has self-published 4 books of poetry, spoken word CD, performed around the country, and several years ago when the All-Star game was in Atlanta, he did a poetic promo spot on ESPN. His latest brainchild, The Cipher, is a series of 13 half-hour poetic documentaries with interviews and performances that take you behind the minds of some of the artists on this New York City scene. Debuting every first Tuesday of the month right here in this room. And when you see it, you'll be surprised at what one man and a handheld camera can do. I love this cat to pieces. I'm gonna start trusting the mic stand now because he's much taller than me. But as he comes up here and makes his way to the stage, what I need you to do is to start picking up
I know that you hate me because I've been distant lately, but it feels like they're trying to replace me. So I've been running with God and he's been trying to pace me, redirect and embrace me. Still afraid of getting caught when my demons chase me. So bitter, only the streets can taste me. My words like holy water, don't you waste me. I hustle with no strings, the way populates me. Man to man is the way you face me. I'm grateful for every day that my family graced me. My rights breathe life, can never erase me. I draw like Stan Lee till I'm dead and they trace me. I hurt you like that purple and leave you hazy. Birth you and unearth you. Fuck is you crazy? I rose in concrete the way Brooklyn raised me. I'm so Shakur, none of these niggas can faze me. Even behind bars, the first thing they say to you, where you from? Well, I'm from the home of the hustlers, where sex, drugs, and violence are means of survival, where language, skin complexion, and fashion fits the description, where we're so used to being stopped and frisked that we become immune to being harassed by the police, unknowingly teaching our children that they have the right to be violated. Where I'm from, music and basketball isn't just a means of getting above the poverty line, but it's our religion. It's the freedom of expression, connecting our minds, mouths, hands, and souls to our creativity, fueled by our struggles, pain, pride, and troubles. Where I'm from, death comes in 3 and life doesn't always mean living. You see, I come from a place where closed mouths don't get fed, and snitches don't live to see tomorrow, where strangers become siblings, adopted to fast money with faster consequences, where there's strength in numbers, so we learn how to ride, do time, and die together. I'm from the same streets that gave birth to John Gotti and Christopher Wallace, where we wake up and go to sleep to the sounds of gunshots and ambulance sirens, where the media freely gangbangs anyone and everyone who looks like us because black and Latino men who haven't been shot, arrested, or pulled into court for child support, well, that shit just isn't news. Where I'm from, you can go anywhere in the world and find someone from Brooklyn, East New York, Williamsburg, Canarsie, Sheepshead Bay, Fort Greene. They done changed the name of the shit like 15 fucking times, but whatever it is. Brownsville, yeah, we are works of art, living murals whose scars and tattoos tell a tale of our lives. We mourn and celebrate in the same breath, Where I'm from, race and color only dictate what section you go to get your callaloo, arroz con pollo, Cajun saltfish, fried chicken, bean pie, tofu, and cheesecake from. You see, we breed entrepreneurs and risk takers. We set the standards, then we redefine those standards. Where I'm from, the world is in constant motion, so we learn how to make moves even when we are standing still. You see, I come from a place where anything is possible. So we learn how to live in the moment, learn from the past, and plan for the future. I'm from Brooklyn. And if you don't know what that means, it means that you can take the person out of the borough, but you can never take the borough out of the person. And while I'm sitting there parading this shit, I got 15 people behind me saying, fuck where you from, I want your sneakers. So is it really all about where you from? Or is it really about where you at? I've been in the field of HIV prevention for a long time. It's more than 15 years. I've seen a lot of things in my life. I can't even begin to talk about the enormous stories and lives and people who I've come across during this journey. But there was one person in particular who touched my heart so much that I literally had to write a piece about him. And it's called The Test. He sat in front of me, scared, shaken, and told me about his journey from the waiting room to my office. He said that he fell in love. He said he fell harder than his first crush because she swings like Barry Bonds, and it was something about her, without the steroids, but it was something about her that made him want to be a better him for him. He thought about all the things that he's done in his life. I'm talking about all of them. He had dreams of beating Wilt Chamberlain's number. He swore he would be like McDonald's, over 1 billion served. He said one day he would take his jersey and they would raise it in the Raptors and say, he's fucked them all. Think about it. This was his goal. He didn't have dreams of being a rapper, dreams of being a superstar, no American Idol, none of that shit. He just wanted to fuck anyone and everyone. Well, women who had big asses, because that's what he said. That was his preference. Didn't care about the titties too much. But said that this was his goal until he met her. Made him want to be a better him for him. Decided that he's going to do something, not just for himself, but something for her. Said that he was going to go into the clinic. This wasn't his first visit at the clinic. He recalled the many times that he's been there when he's been itching, when he's been scratching, when he's been ashamed of that kind of crazy yellowish puke thing that came out the head of his penis that he couldn't identify, but he was sure it wasn't supposed to be there. Thought about the time that he ran through those doors and he had at least 15 different women with him on 15 different occasions because he wasn't sure if they was pregnant or not. Remember when he did the happy dance after every abortion? Remember when he talked them out of being a parent because all he wanted to do was fuck? Said, it's not that I don't love you, it's just that I love what you gave me and that's it. And now, here she comes. Swinging harder than Barry Bonds without the steroids. And he fell harder than his first crush. And now he's sitting in the office, patiently waiting. Hands over his face, hoping he doesn't see his first baby mama. Because yeah, someone didn't listen to that bullshit he was kicking and she had the baby. Hoping he didn't run into one of those females that he accidentally gave chlamydia to. It wasn't an accident, he just didn't use a condom on purpose. Hoping that no one came in that room who was looking for him for the last 3 months because he decided to disappear. And then his name is called. And he comes in the room and he's shaking. He's shaking like a leaf. And I'm like, how can I help you today? He's like, yeah, because I got this girl, and yeah, and I'm excited, and she's different, and I want to do something better, and I want to be a better me, for her, so we can be together. So why are you here today? And it takes him 5 minutes to sit still and request an HIV test. Through all his trials and tribulations with pregnancies, hot drips, not knowing what he has until he got here, he said that he's refused an HIV test every time he's walked through those doors. He figured if the girls got an HIV test and they were negative, that means I'm negative too. And then today he swallows his pride. And he stands before me. And he says, today I'm ready. I'm ready to find out if I'm HIV positive or not, because this woman has me wanting to be a better me for me. And based on her, I need to know before I make that decision. He finally decides to get tested. My question is, have you? I've seen a great deal of success, and I've seen a lot of people like really struggle in their life. I've been through a lot of interesting things, and based on those interesting things, I've decided that the best way for me to do anything for anybody in my life, in my community, is to give back. And words are so powerful. I don't think we know how powerful words really are. And so, with that being said, I really think about my mother and the impact that my mother has had on my life, and all the things that she's been through. And in general, I think women go through a lot. And so with that being said, there's a piece that this guy named Curly Fries like to call the sorry poem. But I just refer to it as the greatest apology you never received. Sorry for every child that you raised without my influence, because these streets or correctional facilities had my time preoccupied. I'm sorry for every time that you've accepted me, though I came to you with nothing, and you helped build me up. Though the moment I doubled my worth, I turned my back on you. I'm sorry for every time I made you a mother before you was old enough to be considered a woman. I'm sorry for every argument that I ran out of words and I used my hands to speak for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that weed, alcohol, ecstasy, or whatever the fuck I was on had me so fucked up that I ignored you when you told me no, and I still took what was in between your legs. I'm sorry I wronged you so much that you told your daughters that the only thing I'm good for is found in the bottom of my pockets and in the crotch of my jeans. Can't you see that I'm sorry? I'm sorry for every time I had you on the stroll, 2:30 in the morning, risking HIV and AIDS, being arrested, and even worse, by the same John who's buying your experience because I told you, if you love me, you do it. I'm sorry your mind isn't on display like your body, so when I approach you, I can tell you how attracted I am to your way of thinking. I'm sorry for every time you got an abortion and I suggested it. I'm sorry for every time I took your pride and digested it. I'm sorry I worked so hard to get you, and the moment I got you, I was never taught that I had to work twice as hard just to keep you. I'm sorry for every time I spent the night at her house with my lips on her clit and had the nerve to come home and kiss you and shit. I'm sorry I'm not as nurturing as you, I'm not as loving as you, I'm not as forgiving as you. I'm sorry that I haven't taken the time to figure me out, because I'm still a boy who was raised by boys and I have yet to understand what it means to be a man. So I don't know what you're really looking for in me, because I haven't grown enough to be a man. So you're really with a boy who's learning, a boy in training, because the men around me are not men. They're still them boys themselves. They're just grown-ass people who think the corner is a decision. So for that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I haven't taken the time to figure you out, but just to listen. When all you really wanted me to do was shut the fuck up and just listen. I'm sorry I haven't given you all the things that you need so that we can be better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long not just to stand before you and say that I'm sorry, but to represent men as a whole and to say that we are, because we are. Somebody would have told me 15 years ago.